Hi, we're back here from AmericanElgin.com with a video on a very special and rather unique watch. This is the 27 jewel Elgin thin line Model R. And this is a very interesting watch. It has a very unique case design that was made by Star Watch Case Company out of Michigan. It's a 35 millimeter case, not including the lugs, and it has on the back, you can see it is 10 karat gold-filled bezel, stainless steel back. It's a one-piece case. Self-winding, waterproof, shock-resistant, etc. Although again, as a vintage watch, I certainly wouldn't risk any of those. Water, adding water to it or something to see whether it's still waterproof. That's not a good idea. It is a very interesting case. So I don't know. These are fancy lugs at the very top. I don't know what exactly the upper lug would be called. I might call it a bow tie lug, but I'm not sure that's the correct term for it. But nonetheless, it is quite unique. This is the only 27 jewel Elgin that has this type of lug on it. Now, I'll show you that the way I know this is the 27 jewel R model is because it came in the original box. So if you could see, if we rotate it here, you can see that this is the, back up a little bit so we can see this a little better. This is, so you can see perhaps thin 27 letter R. Price is $49.95. It says base metal bezel, steel back, self-winding, etc. See a bit better from an angle. $49.95. 27 jewel thin R. Now, what's interesting about this watch is in all the research that we've done in the archives, the newspaper archives, we have not seen any mention of the R model. There's not a single ad that we've seen for this watch. So it's a pretty rare one. This is the original box that came in, and you'll see this is one of the versions of the packaging that this came in was this, which is a very gorgeous kind of almost like space age looking box. Elgin, this is the box that this watch originally came in. You can see here, this watch is American made. It sure is. Shock resistant, waterproof, and all the rest. And it came with some additional paperwork here, which talks about guarantee. I don't think you'll get much mileage out of the guarantee anymore since Elgin Watch Company in this form doesn't exist anymore, but it certainly did at one time. And it appears from materials that came with the watch, including the receipts, which is in here. Let me fish this thing out. This receipt shows that it says December 11th, maybe 1963, and it shows it actually may have been on sale for $29.95 at holiday stores. So I guess it was on sale. Maybe it was such a unique design that it didn't sell very well. Who knows? It's certainly rare. There is another version of this watch that there is advertising for, and that was made for Lord Elgin, which is the related 30 jewel line. And this is an image of that watch, which is certainly appears to be the same type of case design, except it's a Lord Elgin. So it appears to be the same, except the numerals, of course, are different. This 27 jewel version has Breguet style numerals. So Breguet, of course, is a very high-end, formerly originally French, I guess now Swiss watchmaker that's been around forever, and they developed this design apparently for these sort of sloping numerals. And this is one of the only maybe two of the 27 jewel Elgin watches. Only two of them, I believe, have these types of numerals as one of the dial variations. On the Lord Elgin, it is a different case number. It is 2435. As mentioned, this particular case is number 4455. So this is 4455, but the Lord Elgin version is 2435. It has different types of numerals, and the price it has a 30 jewel movement, and the price was $89.50, so a lot more expensive than the one that we're looking at right now. But nonetheless, the case design appears to be very similar, and I don't know, it's a different case number. That doesn't mean that the case is very different, though, because sometimes, as we've seen in other videos, for example, some of the Lord Elgin D models, they have cases with different case numbers made by the same company that appear to be identical, or 99.9% identical. Maybe one of them has some different numbers written somewhere. So this is the front of the watch. Of course, it's got these gorgeous Breguet numerals. Interestingly, although the packaging says that this has a base metal bezel, the watch itself says that it has a 10-karat gold-filled bezel. So I'll take the reality of what it says on the watch over what it says on the label. But nonetheless, it's a very nice design, very attractive. It is not exactly, personally, it's not my style, but it does work. It's very pretty. It has a very interesting kind of early 60s look to it. You can see the back of the fancy lugs, and they're, of course, the shape on the bottom is different. Star Watch Case Company, which made this case, of course, made some really high quality cases for this 27 and 30 jewel set of watches that Elgin was making from about 1959, 1963. Like all the 27 jewel Elgins, this was made at the famous old main plant in Elgin, Illinois, which was in existence from about 1866 to 1964, when it was shut down and unfortunately torn down, at one time the largest watchmaking facility in the entire world. And this is just a very remarkable and interesting example. It is the only one I've ever seen of the 27 jewel version, I should say. We have seen some examples of the 30 jewel letter K model with a similar case. We have seen a couple of those, but this is the only 27 jewel Elgin version we've seen. Again, this watch runs Elgin's caliber 761 27 jewel self-winding automatic watch movement. One of the only, along with the 30 jewel Lord Elgin, one of the only, those are the only two American designed and made full rotor automatic watches. Full rotor means there is a weight, which is about a semicircle, half circle, inside your pendulum that rotates around a center point. When you wear the watch, it winds it by itself. It's called full rotor because it goes in a 360-degree rotation, and that is the modern technology that's used by most watchmakers today that make automatic watches in the world. Elgin was the only company that made that ever in the United States. So it's a very cool watch, very pretty case, very interesting, and very unique. If you'd like to see more information about this watch or other watches in the 27 and 30 jewel lineups, please visit us at americanelgin.com. Thank you.